Let us start with AUDUSD. So AUDUSD has come to a major zone level here. You can see this is a major resistance zone. It has rejected the price market from this place. It has also rejected it from here. And you can see it has come to that same place. Also, it meets with this trend line, which has also been holding the market for some time now, holding it below this trend line. So ideally, we would love to see the market maybe feed onto this trend line, either rejecting the trend line or rejecting this major resistance level and also a psychological level, and also drop down after that level. And you can see even when you reach here, the market has, the price action shows that the market is resisting that area for a very long time. How many hours are this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 hours. The market is still in that same zone. So ideally, we want to see, or we could also say the market has broken structure or changed the character from here. So we could say the market has broken character or changed direction from this zone. And then that means we could take this as a retest of that, but that's not what we trade. Ideally, that's not what we trade. So we are saying the market is most likely to reject this trend line. So the market is most likely to reject this trend line. And then after that one, we want to see the market having to drop on AUD/USD, or at least significantly, at least come and feed into this trend line over here. And then we can have a move. So we would love to see the market dropping off of that level and then reject that zone to give us a bullishness. That's if the market is continuing with the bullishness. Otherwise, we could have a break below this zone, and then we have a continuation of AUDUSD dropping as a sell instead of having the buy on the other hand. And then moving forward, we have USDCHF. Now, USDCHF seems to have done exactly what we're looking for on AUDUSD. So you can see the market has fed into this trend line and has been rejecting. So the trend line held the market here. It has also held the market from this side. So you can see it has held the market once, twice, and then also came here and held the market here and also here. So ideally, we want to see the market now start buying off of this area. So what we have to do is we wait. One of the ways we can take, that's what I always advise, is we take a sniper entry from this point. So we could take an entry at this point. We could take an entry at this point, and we put our stop loss below this trend line and the psychological level. Prefer below this major resistance area, these areas here. And then we are going to put our target to be maybe this next psychological level and the trend line over here. And that is one of the entries. The second entry that we could take is to wait for the market to give us price action here that shows that we are going to have a bearishness, a bullishness. So what, for example, we could have another swing point that will be created maybe around here. And then we could get a trend line that gains that created swing point and this swing point already that we have. And then that is when we are going to wait for the break. And then we are going to have, when the market breaks above, so what we want to see, market should come and then maybe give us a swing point here, drop down a little bit, then break back, and then we want to take that as our entry as this level around there. Because the market would have created for us a reasonable entry after a counter trend line, and then a safe line will also be there safe for us to be able to trade USD/CHF. But ideally, I think the USD/CHF is going to start moving up. That's what I'm seeing, anticipating, but we want to wait and see how that is going to happen actually. Most likely, we want to see it starting to buy, but we do not know if we should enter. If you're a risk taker, you can take a trade right now, but we can wait a little bit to see another price action that we actually do trade. But waiting for it to come and break this trend line and make it a counter trend line will be after very long because of this impulsive move. It will give you a very big stop loss. So we would not wait for this. We want to see the market give us a reasonable swing point here that we can take our entry off of, and then we can take. If you go to lower time frames, let's look at 15 minutes. So look at the 15 minutes. If we can have this as another, yes, this is it. So we're going to have this. Let's use this on 15-minute time frame. So once the market breaks above this trend line, then we are going to have to take our entries on that trend line. with the psychological level, and then this is going to be our safety line because the market has already rejected it, so we want to use it as a safety line. So once the market breaks above here and then retraces or gives us a confirmation thereafter, we want to take our buy on USD-CHF, and we want to be able to target this high. That's going to give us a little significantly a good entry and also a good risk to reward ratio. Moving forward to GBPUSD. Now, GBPUSD has broken this major level. So GBPUSD has broken above this trend line. Ideally, if we want to go into the buying or continuing buying GBPUSD, we want to see a significant drop now thereafter to come and retest this trend line and the psychological level, preferably here, before we can see the impulsive move to the upside. So that's what we want to be waiting for. But if not, that's not happening. We are putting our hands behind on GBPUSD, waiting for it to give us a reasonable entry position, and then we're going to be able to take GBPUSD trade. So this is the level that we want to take our trade of, or we could have a trade of this level if the market can also drop down to this zone to retest this trend line and also retest this other trend line, which is going to be a bounce off. So if we can have a bounce off on this trend line and have a retest on this trend line, rejecting it at a psychological level, that will be one of the best trades that we can ever have on GBPUSD there. So this is what we're going to be looking for, and let's see how that will play out, maybe preferably next week, and this could be the entire trade outlook for the whole week. Gold, we have gold over here. So gold is dropping, and ideally we want to see maybe preferably come into this trend line, feed into this trend line here. And then if the market gives us a rejection of this trend line, we would say the market has broken above this trend line, and then it is coming to retest this trend line, but is looking for a psychological level, which is this one, but then also finds another trend line, which is going to work as a safety line. So if this gold can reject that zone, if gold can reject that zone on this trend line, then we are going to take this as a buy position to be able to swing this level up to these highs and targeting those highs. So you can see this is a level from resistance turning to support. So once that happens, then we are going to be able to take our trade to the upside to be able to get off of those profits on gold. So that's what we're going to be having as an update for now. Let's wait and see how it will happen. If it happens, play out very well for us, then we're going to be glad that we have been here and following on these trades. Ensure to follow, ensure to subscribe if you're on YouTube, and also like, comment, and maybe share this video to someone else who you think it could be of value too. And let's continue rolling, guys. So looking at EURUSD, we can see the market has broken above this trend line and is most likely going to give us a trade over here. So we can see this is a major resistance level. The market has been rejecting this psychological level, and we see the market has come to that same psychological level right over here. So what we want to see is if the market can drop over here, over this level, maybe we have rejecting this zone and then come back to this trend line or this trend line or this psychological level like this, and then we can push up to this level before we can now make decisions at this zone to either buy or to reject and then drop down over this level. Also, we can also have the market continuing from here after breaking above the psychological level and then continue from this zone and then push to the upside to this level before we can have a drop maybe to this zone, and then we can now have a push up thereafter. So this is what we're going to be having on EURUSD. We could be watching a EURUSD trade and significantly see how we can take. Now, these reversals were not, and I sent them over to my TikTok. So if you did not watch us picking or taking these trades, then you should go and be a follower on my TikTok. It's going to help you to be seeing these trades over and over again. Again, we want to see it pushing. This is a very major level that the market is going to make decisions of. Now, during the New York session, while we're on a live, we're going to see what will be happen at that time, and then we can choose either to take the sells or we take the buys to see what is going to come next. So this then is cashpips again. Let's see how it will be going.